Hi, so we are going to do a slow flow, very filled with a lot of mobility work, working with the throat chakra energy. So make sure you have a strap because we will be using that, but even more important, I really want to suggest to you to allow your body to make sounds, allow yourself not to restrict what sounds want to come out of your body. If you want to moan during a movement, if you want to make anything, it doesn't really matter. Allow yourself to experience this sound as we continue our practice, listening to the sounds that your body is making. We really want to tune into our bodies and what's going on and not restricting ourselves from being in a certain state, not being restricted from the energy we want to release. And a lot of this can be released through sound. So I will be suggesting to possibly making some chanting sounds throughout the class. Feel free to take them if you feel comfortable, but if not, that's completely okay as well. So we will come to our backs. Make sure you have the strap close by. Allowing yourself to lay down if your knees are bent, allowing them to fall towards each other to support each other. You can have your palms up to the sky, closing your eyes if you're comfortable, or keeping a soft gaze if not. Beginning to feel how your body is feeling in this moment. Are there any areas of tension or tightness? Any areas of unease? Just bringing awareness to what our body is trying to tell us. As we work with our throat chakra, tuning into the resonance of our being, listening to what our body is telling us, these are all ways that we can support healing of this chakra. So we'll deepen our breath. Maybe you'd like to bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your lower belly. And we'll inhale, letting the chest rise, followed by the ribs and belly, holding for a moment, and then exhaling, letting the belly fall, followed by the ribs and the chest. Continuing this 3-part breath, seeing if you can allow your breath to widen and slow, and release. Do this a couple more times. And you can bring your hands back down to the side. Let us set an intention for our practice. Please taking anything that works best for you. What I will offer is, I am attuned to my body's inner sound. I am attuned to my body's inner sound. I am attuned to my body's inner sound. And then we'll inhale, bringing the knees up towards our chest, nice and gently, just hugging them in as close as you can get them without lifting your shoulders up off the earth. You can begin to rock side to side. And then we'll inhale, lifting our legs up towards the sky, pushing out through our heels. You can hold on to the back of your thighs. You can keep your knees bent as much as you need to. And then we're going to start to alternate pushing the foot away from us. So you'll push up through the one leg, through the heels, straightening the knee, bringing the other knee into your chest, holding for a moment. And then alternating, pushing out through the heel, pulling the other leg in, and we'll alternate back and forth. And then pulling the knees back in. We'll take our hands on top of the knees, not to put pressure on, but just allowing our legs to come into some circular motions. The arms more guiding than doing the movement. Allowing your body to feel the movement through the hips, and then we'll switch directions of the circles. Bringing the knees back into our chest, we'll take our strap and we will wrap it around both feet, the balls of both feet, and pushing our legs up towards the sky. Breathing here. You can rock a little bit, bringing the toes towards the top of the head, just slightly massaging that lower back. Releasing the left leg down. If you have lower back issues, keeping the knee bent to support that lower back, and then taking the strap into both hands on the right side, allowing that right leg to open up to the right, making sure that that left hip stays anchored into the earth. Inhale that leg back up to the sky. We'll cross over the strap into our left hand and allow that right leg to cross over our body. We'll open up the opposite arm and look towards the fingers. Really breathing here. We want to try to loosen up the hip muscles in the lower back because when we have shoulder problems or tightness, our hips will normally reflect this as well, as there's multiple fascial lines that connect our shoulders directly to our hips. So we want, and energetically as well, the chakras reflect each other. So working within our hips or our shoulders is always very beneficial to warm up the opposite area as well. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, bringing that leg up into the sky. We're going to bend into that knee, placing that ankle on top of the left thigh, and we'll reach through to hold onto the left thigh, lifting that leg up to the sky, or you can use this strap, wrapping it around the thigh if you find your reach doesn't quite get comfortably to the back of the thigh. You can find some movement in your knee, your ankle, rolling them both directions, getting at those cracks and the pops. Pushing the toes away from each other and then squeezing them in. Just getting movement in all the joints here. And then we'll bring that left foot to the ground, coming up onto our forearms. You can stay here. This is a great place to be, especially if you have very tight hips, or if you feel comfortable, you can come all the way up to more of a seated posture. I like to use my arms as a little bit of a support here, but don't force yourself into this pose. Just gently ease into it if it's within your availability. And knowing that one side will be different than the other, that's completely okay too. And then we'll allow ourselves to come back down to the floor, taking that leg off. We'll just make some windshield wiper movements with our legs, back and forth. And then coming to stillness, we'll take that strap, we'll wrap it around the ball of the left leg and lifting that leg up into the sky. Take a moment here, pushing that leg out, extending the leg up. And then we'll take the strap into the right hand and opening, or the left hand, sorry, and opening that leg up to the left side. Maintaining alignment with the hip to the earth on the opposite side. One more inhale here. Exhale, lifting that leg up. We'll cross the strap over into the right hand and allow that left leg to cross over to the right side of the mat. Opening our left arm into the half T and looking out towards the fingers. Inhale, lifting that leg back up, bending into the knee, placing that foot on top of the right thigh, and if it's comfortable, reaching through to the back of the right thigh or using a strap. Now you can take that right leg, making movement within the knee, nice and slow, rolling the ankle both directions, moving through the movement through your toes. And then we can release that grasp, coming up to your forearms. And if that doesn't work, or if that you need a little bit deeper, then we can come up onto our hands. The further you walk your hands out away from you, the less intense that will be in the hip, and vice versa. The closer you bring your body towards the knee, the closer we will be to working to open that or release any tension in that hip. And then we'll come down, releasing the legs onto the ground, and just take a few more windshield wipers. And then we'll bring the knees back to our chest, and you can hug yourself up, so lifting the chin up towards the knees, shoulders up. And you can stay here for a moment, or you can begin to rock along the spine if that feels good in your body, maybe making enough momentum that you can come all the way to a seated posture. Otherwise, you can just come up to a seated posture, making sure that we have our straps. We're going to start to open up our shoulders now. So sitting here, we want to have a wider grasp, especially if you have sore shoulders or any injuries. We're going to hold it out in front of us, inhaling, lifting the strap up, exhaling back. Doing this a few times, nice and slowly, so that we can really feel the movement in our shoulder, noticing if there's any areas of tension or tightness or pain. Continuing your breath, maybe even coming into your ujjayi breath, so inhaling through the nose, constricting the back of the throat, filling the belly from that bottom up, and releasing the breath again through your nose. Then we'll come to stillness, so bringing the strap overhead, we'll shorten the grasp, so nice, about shoulder distance apart. We'll inhale here, rising up through our spine, but keeping our shoulders away from our ears, and then leaning over to the one side. You can bend into that bottom elbow, creating a little bit more tension, but it's not necessary. Only going as far as it feels comfortable. Inhaling up and over to the other side. You can always turn to look under the elbow if that's okay in your neck. Inhale up and over. Inhale up and over. Inhale up. We're going to rotate now towards the right side. Inhale. Exhale to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back to stillness, I'm going to release the strap and put that off to the side for now. We're going to take our hands behind our head, interlacing our fingers. We don't want to push our hands into our head. We want to have less tension on our head, but keeping our head nice and erect, pushing into our hands. So from here, we're going to once again check that our shoulders aren't up by your ears, and then you're going to begin to make like a kayaking motion. So almost like we're taking a paddle, moving it through the water. Continuing to breathe here. And then switching directions. And then coming to stillness. Place your hands on the earth and just start to make some circles with our shoulders. Staying with our breath. Move in the opposite direction. And then coming to stillness, we're going to push our right hand into the earth if your arms aren't quite long enough, because we are all by different dimensions. Grab a block, so you have the block underneath your hand so that you can push into the block. So finding your variation, pushing that right hand into the floor, we're going to drop the right ear to the right shoulder, walking that left hand away from us. You're going to get a nice, or you should feel a nice stretch in on that left side of our neck, right maybe into the arm. Noticing if there's any areas in our neck and our shoulders that are maybe speaking to us right now, just taking note of it. And we can always work with this area at a later time. As long as this isn't creating any sharp pains anywhere, just allow yourself to feel any areas of discomfort. And inhale, bringing that head slowly back up into neutral and both hands into center. Taking a moment, finding some movement, maybe chin to chest, and then we'll push into that left hand, dropping the left shoulder to the left, or the left ear to the left shoulder, and walking that right hand out. Once again, feeling a stretch on this side. Maybe it's one side is more painful than the other, or more sensation than the other. Just being aware of that. Two more breaths here. And then coming back to center. We're going to take our hands onto our knees and we'll inhale forward, exhale back. Making some nice slow circles, allowing the upper body to create like a grinding sensation on the lower body. And we'll switch directions, but continuing to inhale forward, exhale back. Coming to stillness, we're going to do some shrugs now. So keeping our hands on our hips, we're going to inhale, lifting the shoulders up towards our head, exhale, letting them drop. Inhale up, exhale, inhale. Two more. And then we'll come to all four limbs. So our knees on the earth, our hands on the earth. We're going to come into our cat tilt. So inhale, rounding your spine, tucking your chin. Exhale to lower. Inhale to round. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. When we come to stillness, we're going to extend that right leg back and bounce on the toes for a moment, lifting up that calf muscle. Then we'll lift that leg up, extending the opposite arm forward. Inhale here. Exhale, bringing knee to pass the elbow and out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. This time we'll drop the hand, letting the opposite foot move to the other side of the mat. So we're crossing over our left side and turning to look towards those left toes. If you're able to, allowing our balance to move onto that right hand, so you can lift that left hand up. But if you have wrist issues, just staying in a neutral position. Keeping your gaze on the back toes and coming back to center. From here, come into more cat tilts. And then we'll extend the left foot back, coming onto the toes. You can bounce on those toes for a moment. And lifting that leg up to parallel the earth, extending opposite arm forward. Inhale here, exhale in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Bringing that foot down, back down to the ground. Both hands are pushing into the mat. We'll cross our body with that left foot. So it's on now the right hand side and turning to look at that right foot. And then bring that foot back into center. We're going to come back onto our heels. I'm going to just do a little bit of some wrist work. So bringing our hands together, interlacing the fingers, we're going to start to roll through the wrists, nice and slowly, and then both directions. And then we'll inhale, pushing the hands out away from us, so rolling the palms away, and then rolling them out in the opposite direction. So just finding any kind of movement through our hands here. Just taking full movement with our wrists, getting full mobility, noticing any areas that hurt. And then we'll take our hands behind us. We're going to step up forward with that right foot. Inhale, our hands are clasped behind our back. And inhale, we'll open up our chest to the sky. The more we lean forward, the more we're going to be activating into our glutes. Little back bend if that feels good. Releasing our hands, having them in front of, on either side of that front foot, extending that leg into reverse lunge. Seeing if you can lean over that front leg, or just staying up on your tippy toes with a straight spine here. We're going to step forward, or placing our hands by that front foot, coming up on the back toes. We're going to step back into plank for a moment, and then move back into our downward facing dog. Whilst we're here, you can allow one foot to drop and then the other. Looking forward, we're going to walk our feet up towards our hands. Exhale here. Inhale to the flat back to halfway lift, excuse me. Exhale down. Inhale, rise and shine all the way up, lifting our chin last. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to step back with our right foot at 45-degree angle. Inhale, hands up to warrior one. If your shoulders are tender, you can keep your hands at heart center, just allowing yourself to be aware of where our shoulders are in place. If they're up by the ears, bringing them down our back as if we're trying to move the scapulas towards each other. Breathing here, nice rich bend in that front foot, making sure we have equal pressure through both legs. Inhale, hands up, Opening up to warrior two, so you can turn on that back foot to 90 degrees or keep it at 45 if that's better for your hip health. Once again, equal pressure between both feet. Arms are up to parallel the earth, and we'll slowly just start to roll through our shoulders here. So finding mobility, seeing our range of motion, continuing to breathe. Maybe even coming into our Ujjayi breath again. And then coming with palms up, or maybe alternating one up, one down. We'll drop that back hand on the back thigh. Inhale, lifting up the front arm into exalted warrior. Inhale, coming up to warrior two again, rotating keeping the chest open to the side, like in warrior two. We'll bring that left hand on the inner aspect of that left foot, or coming on a block, and we'll keep that right arm up into the sky. Inhale here, up to warrior two. Exhale, we're going to lean forward, rotating our body towards that front leg, lifting or bringing, our right hand to the inner aspect of that left foot, and maybe bringing that left arm up into the sky into a revolved lunge. Or the lower back if that's more comfortable. Trying to feel that rotation through the upper spine here. And then we'll bring both hands on the inner aspect of that front foot, turning the back toes to face forward, coming into our lizard pose. Being in an active pose here for a moment. And then we'll drop the back knee, coming into a more relaxed variation. Coming back into our breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to extend that front leg forward into a reverse lunge, but more on the exterior. We'll take our right hand towards the left foot, coming into a rotation towards the left side. Releasing that foot, we'll step back with that back of the front foot, coming into a kneeling posture once again. We're going to come into a rabbit pose. This will help lengthen the back of the neck, but this is also one of those poses that you should take very individually. If you have neck issues, just being very mindful of how it feels in your neck. So we're going to come to a puppy pose, so we're on our knees, and we're bringing our chest towards the ground. Maybe your head will reach, maybe it won't. Staying here for a few moments, allowing the hips to start to move back just slightly. And then we'll start to walk our hands back, tucking our chin in. So we're coming to the crown of our head is now touching the floor. You may find you can get closer to your body and you're having more pressure put onto the back of your neck. This is where I stop, but listen to your body. Coming into your Ujjayi breath again, so constricting the back of the throat. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly taking the pressure, bringing your forehead back to the earth, allowing the hips to come back towards the ankles in child's pose. Breathing here, letting anything be released that needs to be released, whether that's emotions or sounds. And then we'll come back up to our kneeling position, back up to all fours, and we'll step that left foot forward. We're going to come up to a low lunge, interlacing hands behind our back, leaning forward over that front leg to open up through the hip. Maybe arching your back, taking a little back bend. If your knees are sore, you can take a pillow, or not a pillow, but a towel underneath your knee, or holding your mat over. And then we'll bring the hands down in front of us, extending that leg out towards the back of the mat into a reverse lunge. And then we'll come back forward, stepping forward into forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, nice long spine. Exhale, back down towards the ground in the forward fold. Exhale here. Inhale, rise and shine all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a moment here, acclimatizing to the change of pressure. And then we'll step back with that left foot in 45-degree angle. Nice rich bend in the front foot. Inhale, hands up overhead into warrior one. Once again, you can take your hands at heart center if that feels more comfortable for you. Focusing on our breath, moving it through that constricted muscle. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, opening up to your warrior two. You can move through the shoulders again, rotating through the complexes. And we'll come to stillness. We'll drop that back arm on the back thigh, lifting the top arm up towards the sky. Inhaling here. Coming back up to warrior two, we're going to lean forward, dropping that right hand on the inside of that right foot, lifting the left arm up to the sky. Inhale, rising back up, nice and slow and controlled, rotating our upper body towards that front leg, and then we'll reach the left hand down, bending into that knee, placing the left hand on the mat and rotating towards the right leg. Left arm can be up in the sky on your lower back. Bringing both hands on the inside of that front foot, turning the back toes to face the front of the mat. You can walk that front foot to the side of the mat, and so we're coming into our lizard pose. Staying up on the back leg for now. Dropping the back knee and tucking the toes, coming to a resting lizard. Inhale here, we're going to extend that front leg long, coming into another reverse lunge, but we'll take that left hand towards the right ankle. Seeing how you balance here. Releasing that ankle, we'll step that front leg back, coming back to our hands and knees, we're going to come into camel pose. So once again, this is also a very individualized posture, and since I'm not there with you, I will do my best to guide you through the different modifications, but listening to your body is the safest way to protect our body. So coming up to our knees, and once again, if you have sore knees, which I do, I'm going to tuck my mat in to create a little bit more support, comfort. You can keep your toes uncurled, which is completely okay, or if you want them having them curled under, this will create more availability to reach your ankles, but it's completely what feels good in your body. So choosing the variation that works, we're going to have a nice stacked spine here. As we move into the camel pose, we want the hips moving forward as we lift our chest up towards the sky, and then allowing our head and our neck to be extended out towards the back of the room. So there's a 3-part movement that we really want to focus on. Forward of the hips, lifting of the chest, backwards with the neck. Your hands will start on your lower back, fingers facing down. This is where we start in the practice, where then you can build upon once you're feeling strong and comfortable. So hands on the lower back, pushing the hips out towards the front of the mat, lifting the chest, allowing the head to move towards the back. This is where we stay, believing that, or knowing what's best for your body. If this is in your practice and you feel comfortable, maybe allowing your back to begin to move towards the floor, reaching down for your ankles. Wherever you are, coming back into your Ujjayi breath. And then slowly coming back out of that, allowing your body to come back into a kneeling posture, and just taking a moment to allow that energy to settle into our bodies. From here, we will come onto our backs. All the way down. We're going to bring our feet towards our glutes, coming up into bridge. I'm going to offer this to become a restorative posture. So as we inhale, lifting our hips, placing the block underneath your sacral area, where your waistband normally sits, around that area, making sure it's comfortable, choosing the different level that works for you. There's 3 different ones of that block. And we're just going to rest in this posture for a few moments. Stay here, allowing yourself to settle into this posture, allowing the energy we've just created to permeate your cells, bringing in fresh, healing energy. Visualizing a blue light, the color of the ocean in the Caribbean, noticing that color and really allowing it to move through your throat chakra, becoming a wheel of light. Noticing that with every inhale, the light gets brighter, stronger, and it moves further throughout your body. With every exhale, we're releasing energy that we no longer need, stored emotions, toxins. We can release this with our breath, with our intention. Listening to your body, listening to the sound of your breath. Maybe coming back into that Ujjayi breath, listening to the sounds of the ocean with each inhale, the waves crashing. You can stay here if you want to come into a little bit more of a deeper inversion, lifting your legs up into the sky. You can stay here, or if you practice your shoulder stand, you can lift your hips up off the block completely, coming to shoulder stand, or maybe even bringing your legs to the opposite wall, coming into your plow. Only practice this if it's within your comfort level, within your physical availability. Slowly coming back down, one vertebrae at a time, removing the block, and then gently bringing your spine all the way down to the ground. Taking a moment here, windshield wipering your legs back and forth. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet together, knees opening to the side. We're going to bring our hands into a locust pose, so the outer edges of our baby finger and the palm are touching each other, and then you're bringing the thumbs, the outer edges of the thumbs to touch each other, creating a flower, like a bowl. And bring the thumbs to the sternum as we inhale. Exhale. Allowing the energy from the heart chakra to move up into our throat chakra while we're also having a downward motion of energy down to the heart, creating a dual highway of energy. Release your hands, guiding your knees back up into center. We're going to come into a happy baby, so lifting the knees up towards our ribs, the outer aspects, grabbing onto the outer edges of our feet, and bringing the knees down towards our chest. Breathing here, taking any movement, if you prefer, rocking side to side. And then when you're ready, you can release your feet, coming into your Shavasana. So if you need to put on any socks or a sweater, take a drink of water, please do so. Otherwise, just coming onto your back. You can keep your knees bent if that feels better. Allowing your palms to open towards the sky, nice soft fingers, toes splaying open to the corners of the mat. Tucking the chin slightly so we're lengthening the back of the neck. Just begin to bring your awareness down your body, noticing the different parts, the different areas. Tuning into your body now that we've practiced and moved some energy. Acknowledging what you find, but allowing it to just drift aside for the moment. Tuning into the sounds you hear around you. Maybe the hum of a fridge, laundry machine, cars outside. Just noticing the sounds. As you lay here, if you would like to move some more energy through sound, you could chant the word hum. I will cue one full round of breath to begin the chanting. So inhale, exhale, inhale, inhale, one more time. Well, you can begin to bring fingers and movement back into your fingers and toes. Keeping your eyes closed for as long as you're able to. And as you're ready, you can come onto your favorite side, taking a moment of gratitude for your practice, for something in your life that you're grateful for. And then as you're ready, you can come to a seated posture to close your practice. You're welcome to bring your hands in heart center, Anjali Mudra, and we'll enjoy one more Om, which you can join me or not. So inhale, exhale, inhale, Om. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide your practice today. I hope you had a great day. Listen to what your body is telling you, and listen to what the world is telling you. Thank you.